All right, good Woch, everyone. Pashas Shmois. That was the Pasha of my bar mitzvah. I remember that. Memories. Uh, at the time, at the time, uh, I don't know what to say. Yes, we were far from Yiddishkeit, yes, but we were not as alienated as we could have been, or as there was something. There was a thread that was very real. It was very. I remember. I must have been, I don't know, 7 or 8 when I learned in the Chumash, about Pasha Shmois and Shmois and Va'era, and I learned. I mean, I was a secular kid. What did I know? And I was 7, 8, whatever. So I learned that Moshe Rabbeinu, he had a stick and he threw it before Parah. It became a snake. So on the street, I walked in the street, I found a very interesting looking branch. So I took it home with me and I took it to my room and I started throwing it on the floor many times over and over and over. you know, Hoping at a certain one of those times it'll become a snake. Well, luckily it didn't. All right, so it's. but I gotta tell you though, um, in my time, we, I was, I mean, both my parents, were busy, or whatever, and I was called what they call a key child. What do you mean a key child? I mean, I would come home in the middle of the day when the learning was over, and for a long time, my parents would put the key to the house in the electric box outside the house, where the electric meters, and I would find the key and I would get in. But then there were all kinds of I don't know, robberies or whatever it is. So it wasn't safe to do that anymore. And I was I was about 6, 7. Okay, it's around the same area. Maybe I was younger than the thing with the stick. Umatei Elokim biyadi. Okay, anyhow, so it's, but nevertheless, so what I used to have the key on a string around my neck. Well, it's a key child, where the key on my around my neck. Now the thing is that if I would come home and I would not have the key, and there's nobody home, I remember ringing the bell and kicking the door, as if that would somehow procure somebody inside the house to come and open the door for me. I mean, obviously there's nobody there. I rang the doorbell and whatever it is. And I kept on like throwing the stick on the ground many times. Maybe it'll come a snake. Kicking the door and ringing the doorbell. Maybe that will create somebody in the house and they will come open. I don't know. Because I'm able to sit outside for an hour. I mean, it drove me nuts. Needless to say, I am about as HDHD as I was then. But nobody understood what HDD was all about. So they just thought I was wild. I wasn't wild, I just couldn't concentrate for a tinker damn, nothing. Anyhow. So one day, I come home, and I forgot my key. I didn't wear the key on my neck. And I'm walking up the step. We lived on the third floor, and I'm on the fourth floor, and I'm walking up the steps, and I realize I don't have the key, and there's nobody home, because I knew there's nobody going to be home. And I thought I'm going to be spending an hour outside the door, and I was so bereft. So, I mean, I was a fright kid, what I know. So I lifted up my eyes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and I said, Ibn Shalom, if there's going to be a key in the electric box, which my parents were not putting it there anymore. I mean, I promise you I'll believe in you. Yeah, kid, I don't know, 7, whatever, 7, 8, whatever. And I went up, and I opened up the electric box, and there was a key. So, I went in, whatever it is. And apparently, my parents saw that I left the key behind, and they realized I'm going to be stuck, and they won't be home. So whatever. But I remember years later, when I found Yiddishkeit, and I came from shul Friday night. I was brand new. Brand new. I was Ben Box new. I was just, 5 minutes into Yiddishkeit. And I come out of shul on Shabbos, after Ma'ariv, and I come out of the shul. I didn't know anything about Breslev. I didn't know anything about his Beidados. And I lift my eyes and I say, Ribono Shel Olam. I said, Good Shabbos. And on the spot, it's a continuation of the story that I told you on Thursday about the thing that the heart speaking to you. On the spot, I recognized that I was saying Good Shabbos to the same Ribono Shel Olam who I promised when I was 7 years old that I will believe in him. It was totally clear. Totally clear. I can't possibly explain what does it mean. What I mean. I recognize it. There was a certain feeling. There's a certain kind of I cannot explain, but I recognize him. That's the one to whom I promised that I will believe in him if the key would be there. That was I was 24. I made the promise when I was 7. Okay, so that's like 14 years later, something like that. When you're 24, 14 years later, it's a long time. But anyhow, it was obvious that this is it. That's the one. It was a teary reunion. I can tell you, it was amazing. It was incredible. Baruch Hashem. Yeah, came out of Mitzrayim. Then, all right. So here we are, Pasha Shmois, and we are. Put the stender, so we are learning a Maaseh from the Baal Shemtov, and because it's Gula, it's a Shabbos, Avada, Shevavim, as we're entering the second week of Shevavim. And this is a story that not far from the town of Mezhibozh, on a road that is leading to the forest, there is a fountain, of a stream of water that until today is called Rabinove Krinitsa, the fountain of the Rebbe. And this particular fountain is mentioned in quite a few times, And it's known today, and a lot of people know of it. And many people go to visit this ancient miracle. What kind of miracle is this? You come there, and you see a small brook of water, live water that is flowing along the field, and there's no way to tell where it comes out of the ground, and there's no way to say when it disappears, where it goes into the ground again. It's just the waters are moving, and there's no way to tell where it begins and where it ends. A lot of people, are very mehader to drink the water of this fountain, this brook, as a proven segula, gashmis in ruchnis. Now, the source of this mayan and the meaning, the reason for the sanctity that is attributed to it is in the following story. One of the days, the Baal Shem HaKodesh has invited his great student, Rabbi Yaakov Yosef HaKohen for Polnoe, the Toldos Yaakov Yosef, the famous, it's the first Hasidic sefer ever published, the Talmud Baal Shemtov, to join him in a trip. And there were other Talmidim from the holy Chevraya of the Baal Shemtov. And when they came back, the Baal Shemtov and his entourage, as it were, they stood at the forest, which is outside town, to daven mincha. And Baal Shemtov wanted to wash his hands. As a preparation for prayer, they found out there was no more water in their whatever containers they had to have water with them. So all the Talmidim, each one went his own way to find a source of water where they can find water. But they couldn't find. When they became, when they despaired and they came back, the Baal Shem Tov lifted up his eyes to Shemayim. And the sky was getting darker. He found out, time for Mincha is ending very soon. So the Baal Shem Tov turned his back to the people of the Chevrayim, and he started walking alone into the forest. None of the people there dared follow him, except Rabbi Yaakov Yosef of Polnoe, that was the Rav of the city of Polnoe, that quietly followed the Baal Shem Tov. Now in the forest, it was dark, a little dank. The Baal Shem Tov put his stick down, leaning it over, on one of the trees. And one shot just fell down on the earth. The Toldos Yaakov Yosef was scared out of his wits. Now, he has never seen anybody just drop himself down with hand and feet just spread out and like slamming to the ground. Boom. And unbelievable Mesiras Nefesh, the way he brought himself down, and suddenly he hears an incredible cry, incredible anguished cry. The Baal Shem Tov was crying from the very bottom of his heart. Yibbono shel Olam, he said, I beg of you, I beseech you, please, with your big rachmim, endless rachmim, get us fresh water for Netilas Yadayim before Mincha. If not, the Baal Shem Tov said, I'm better off dead than alive. He says, just kill me now. The Chas v'Chalila should not transgress what Chazal said, that you're supposed to wash your hands before davening. The Rabbi Yaakov Yosef got goose pimples. I mean, he was unbelievable. The Baal Shemtov got up and wiped off his tears and took the stick and started walking slowly to the to his entourage. And there, behind his Talmidim, they were standing all walking in the forest. Right behind them, like 3 steps from the wagon, very slowly, there was a fountain of water, streaming. It was like 3 steps away. So, as Baal Shemtov said, like jokingly, in Naim Lev V'lo Yirau, they have eyes, but they can't see. He says, right next to us, there's a fountain of water, and we are looking for it, in distance, and we can't find it. Everybody was amazed. They looked at each other, they all washed their hands, and they all davened. Only Rabbi Yaakov Yosef of Polno is the only one who knew the secret. He was a witness just until a minute before. I mean, that which, in just a few minutes before, of a Mesiris Nefesh from the Baal Shemtov. He would rather die on a little Chomer D'Rabbanan. A Chomer D'Rabbanan. Such a thing he has never seen before. And until his last days, he would repeat that story. He never ceased being amazed of that, the Baal Shemtov. And after the years gone by, he revealed that was one of the big reasons why he has decided to connect to the Baal Shemtov and become a part of what the Baal Shemtov was about. Was the Mesiras Nefesh of the Baal Shemtov for little Chomer D'Rabbanan, and that is that holy fountain that is flowing there. This obviously has a lot to do with the Sicha of today. And let's take a Sichos Haran. Hold on just 1 second. Let me share the screen with you. Alright, here we go. We are in Sichos Haran, Kuf Aleph, 101. This is like the quintessential Breslev Sicha. Kvar mevur kama pamim. It is already established a few times, many times. She'en tzrichin shun chochmes ba'avodas habayis barach. You don't need any tricks. You don't need any figuring out in avodas Hashem. Rak tmimus, pshitus, ve'emuna. You need simplicity, you need innocence, and emuna. That's all you need. And Rabbeinu says that simplicity is the highest of them all. He says, because Hashem Yisbarach is obviously transcendental to everything, and is higher than everything. And Hashem Yisbarach himself is totally simple. Completely simple. It is a very, very short sikha, but at the same time, the profundity of this particular sikha is endless. When it comes to avodas Hashem, the only thing that you need is simply to tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu that you want to get close to Him, that you want to have emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in the Torah, in the tzaddikim, in yourself, and that's it. Emunah opens up the gates to avodas Hashem. When we get to we spoke about it on Thursday, about but now we just sort of like looking at it from a different perspective. By the way, Niv, we have the shir back in Breslov if you want to come by on Thursdays. Anyhow, meanwhile back at the ranch. That's the question of that which we say on Kriyat Shema. V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavcha b'chol nafshecha b'chol modecha. How can you love someone or something that you have never known, that you don't know, that you haven't met, that you're not familiar with? How can you get to love? It's a commandment. First of all, how do you command someone to love somebody or something? Either you do, you don't. And when the Torah says the ahavta, means the Torah says that it's an active act. You should love, meaning that you get yourself to love. All kinds of perushim that you make sure that, which are all basically tactics on how to get there. Behave yourself in such a way that people will love Kadosh Baruch Hu. Says, that's the way somebody who is Kadosh Baruch Hu's person, that's the way that he should behave, and so forth and so on. But the nekuda that we mentioned on Thursday was that there is a love that starts when you get to know somebody. I mean, you find your shidduch, you find your basher, and you feel the love, you feel the attraction. Actually, you feel the attraction, but the love is something which is being built over time. It's very similar to that love for Kadosh Baruch Hu. Because what happens is, people that look at things superficially, they think, I fall in love, okay? And then, as things go by, we lose the freshness or whatever it is, and the all kinds of difficulties, all kind of hurdles, all kind of challenges, whatever it is, and people come up with ideas, maybe we don't belong together, and all kinds of things like that. But that negates the very concept of what love actually is. Love is not attraction. Attraction is the thing that can alert you to the fact that the basic condition for love may exist there. Ahava is gematria echad, one. which means you love your wife and you love your children because basically you all one thing. In fact, parents may neglect to give their children the kind of attention that they deserve is because the parent has problems with himself or herself. And that automatically is reflected on their relationship with their children. But if you ask any child will tell you that they never ever, even abused children, Shem Yerachem, even abused children have no doubt that their parents love them. They have problems, the parents cause them pain, whatever it is, but there's never a doubt in their minds that their parents love them. Because that's a fact. Your children are you. And that comes back to the fact that a person has an intrinsic, natural, unshakable love to himself. Even the people who hate themselves, they do so because I hate myself for being me and hurting me. Because I should be nice to me. Me deserves for me to be nice, so I hate myself. In other words, that hate that I feel for myself is really an offshoot of this automatic love that I have to myself, to my very being. I don't have to learn to love myself. It's automatically there. I can get angry with myself. I can get frustrated with the way I am. But it's all because I love myself. Because people that you don't care about, they can jump in the lake as far as you're concerned. You don't care. What's a big spritz? That oneness, the real struggle in marriage, in any relationship, is to overcome the obstacles that are keeping you away from just realizing, you have to do anything, just realizing the oneness of you and the people that you love. That's it. There's no need to be done. In order for this to happen, what you need to do is you have to switch the mode of your relationship from taking to giving. That which the world today calls love, that corrupt, disgusting kind of behavior, has nothing to do with love. Because it's all about taking. We mentioned on Thursday that Yaakov Avinu loved Rachel, had to work 7 years in order to have her as a wife. And the Chumash says that those 7 years were like, a few days because of Yaakov's love to Rachel. That seems like counterintuitive, right? If you loved her so much, it's not every day should have been as long as a year. Not 7 years would have been as short as a few days. So we said that it's a very famous explanation of this, like seeming paradox, and the answer is the reason why 7 years was like a few days for Yaakov Avinu is because Yaakov Avinu loved Rachel. He didn't love himself and wanted Rachel in order to satisfy his self-love. He was not a taker. Yaakov Avinu was a giver. So since he loved her, spending 7 years was like a few days. Had Yaakov Avinu been totally concentrated on himself, how to satisfy himself, every single day feeling the lack of having Rachel would have seemed like a year. The thing that throws relationship of people into a loop is that they cast themselves in a situation, a state of taking. What is the person that I have the relationship with, including parents, including obviously spouses and children, how do they satisfy my will of feeling good, of feeling proud, of feeling whatever it is, or not? The minute a person becomes a giver, there are a lot of things that I will find from what it is that the person that I love requires from me. My wife may require from me, to tell me the blunt truth into my face. And as many times as not, and probably most of the time, that those things that she says to me will make me feel very, very small and very bad about myself. If I'm willing to accept feeling that way, realizing, okay, feelings are not facts. She may tell me, you never sit with me, you never spend time with me, you never, whatever it is that she says. The thing that will make me feel about this is not the fact that she says it, but the fact that it's true. And the thing that throws me into a quagmire is the fact that I don't really want to rectify that. I want to stay away. I may want to stay away because, I don't always feel good when I'm with her. So I want to stay away. As the case might be, I'm just, giving you an example. To sit there and accept that and realize that I don't have a solution. I don't have a solution. Something from now on, let's change this, you'll change that, and then we'll be... There is no solution except that I'm here, and you tell me whatever it is that you tell me. And the real solution, let's say, if I can get along, if my wife is telling me things that make me feel bad about myself, and ultimately we are sort of driven to stay away from one another, it's not just me. My wife may be very good at making me feel that it is only me, but it's not. We live such a life because it suits me and it suits her. It may not feel the best in the world, but she wouldn't have it any other way, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But there's a price to pay. So this is why she's digging into me. Okay, it's okay, I'm here. The very same thing, the very same kind of relationship, as it were, exists between me and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because the oneness, my self-love stems off the fact that I'm one with me, right? I am me. You couldn't get any more one than that. Well, you could. The Kodesh Baruch Hu is the ultimate you. You're chalek elokam, right? You're a shtickle godliness walking in a body. You and the Kodesh Baruch Hu are one thing on a much more literal and basic sense than you are you. The Kodesh Baruch Hu is the mother rock of everything. And it's all one. This is what we call utter simplicity. Me and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is all one. The difficulties, the astara, the hiding, the camouflage, the difficulties, all stem from the fact that I'm just a getter, not a giver. It's normal, it's okay. That's the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu created me. But in order for me to strip the blinders from my eyes and to reveal to myself my oneness with HaKadosh Baruch Hu is when I am striving to become a giver to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Come again? You want to become a giver to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? What can you give HaKadosh Baruch Hu? For one thing, you can give HaKadosh Baruch Hu nachas ruach. Make mommy and tati proud of me. Make HaKadosh Baruch Hu proud of me. Want HaKadosh Baruch Hu have enjoyment from me. And as I go along, as I keep on, the more I put into it, the more I invest in this, the more wholeheartedly I invest myself in this, the more the oneness of me and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is revealed to me. It's not in a seicheldike thing. It's just automatic. I love him. He loves me because he gives me all the time. I'm part of him. But my children are part of me. Me wanted to give HaKadosh Baruch Hu nachas ruach is the thing that strips away the astara. That's the story of the Baal Shemtov. To what extent did the Baal Shemtov go in order to be giving to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? He wants to do the Ratzon of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to such an extent that if he cannot do a little thing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants, he'd rather not be alive. The love between him and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is automatic and complete and infinite. They asked Rabbeinu, why, Baal Shemtov had a daughter, Orlo, who was a great woman, that the Baal Shemtov held her in esteem like one of his students, like a huge woman, Rabbeinu's grandmother. And so they asked Rabbeinu, why was Ras Odel so important by her father? So Rabbeinu said, because Ras Odel was going around all day long with yearning and questioning, how can I give the Kodesh Baruch Hu some nachas ruach? How can I give pleasure to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? How can I make HaKadosh Baruch Hu proud of me? How can I give HaKadosh Baruch Hu a sense of satisfaction? That was her ultimate chashivas. That means Yiddishkeit at its utter simplicity. When you want to be a good child, you're thinking, how can I give my father some satisfaction? I don't know. I remember that when we were on holidays, whatever it is, me and my sister, we would make we have this big tray, and we would make coffee and cake, put cake on it and bring it to my parents. Just the whole idea is, it's like, just they should have it. Just give it a little shtickle lechasruch. That's it. Bring your tests from school. Look at it. I got an A or B plus, whatever it is. In my case, probably a D. In which case, I would find a way to find the longest route from school to home. But it's just a negative. Maybe it was more scared of what that time. What are you going to do? It wouldn't beat me up, whatever it is. But a disappointment. Not wanting to disappoint HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Not wanting to disappoint my parents. Wanting HaKadosh Baruch Hu to have nachasura from me. Not disappointing HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is how you expose the inherent love that you have to Kodesh Baruch Hu. V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol modecha. All you need to do is just remove the obstacles, remove the screens from the illusions from the way. Just clear them out. And that inherent oneness will be revealed. The love is there automatically. Okay, so how do I do it? I do it by being a giver. What can I give a Kadosh Baruch Hu? It'll work maybe one time out of 100 or one time out of 1,000. That's fine. It's great. It might even work. It might even not work at all, or seemingly not work at all. But you wanted, and the want, the will is everything. In fact, the action is only the proof of how much you actually wanted it. That's it. If you wanted it hard enough, it'll happen. It's not enough committed. It happened, didn't happen, you want it. When you're connected with the tzaddik, that means that you have this urge, this drive inside you, all the time, to get closer to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Not to do anything that would disappoint him. There's, of course, this yirsachet, there's yirsa'oinish, there's a fear of being punished, which is part and parcel with the whole thing. But ultimately, I want to give him nachas ruach. I want to give him a pleasure. I want him to be proud of me. When Country Yossi had a song, right? I was like, and Mami, Tati, and Hashem will be so proud of you, right? That was the song. That's all there is to Yiddishkeit. Mami, Tati, and Hashem will be so proud of you. I think they said, emes is everything, never say a lie, something like this. And Mami, Tati, and Hashem will always be proud of you. That's it. Then you can go ta 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 ta. That's all, folks. Like this is it. This is what it's all about. I want to wish every single one of you a gewaldige week and a sachat slocha. The Mitzvah Hashem Monday night, Bezat Hashem, God willing, we will learn sipurey, hopefully, and Bezat Hashem, living good life. Be matzliach and have a good vach, everyone. Kol tov.